Hello everyone, it's Moonkin FTW and welcome back to another episode of the RCT3 challenge. Today we're tackling the last inverted roller coaster, and it's going to be an interesting one as well. The inverted hairpin roller coaster, which is kind of like a wild mouse roller coaster, but strange enough with less options when it comes to turns. I can't make wider turns, so I can only make these super small turns, and I can also not make any turns that are gentle, so the gentle elevation and end turns, which you could normally do. But you can go vertical and also upside down with multiple blocks. So I'm gonna actually use that to my advantage and make this kind of really crazy looking, I'm not sure what this is, like a loop I guess, but then again it's really nuts and I think it's really cool. But first of all, just like a classic wild mouse, I wanna start off with some these quick like 180-degree turns, and then you drop down and then you end up in this like really weird looking loop thing. And then from there on out, we'll see how it goes. So I think this looks really crazy. I just want to make sure that the pacing is okay. Because you're only able to use these very, very, tight corners, I don't want this to be too fast because, I kind of want things to be a little bit realistic. Even though that's sometimes quite hard in RCT3, of course, because, the track options are quite limited. But I'm trying to do my best. So after one of these weird loopings I made, I'm going to make another one. So you have two of these crazy elements. Once again, I'm going to see if the pacing is okay in terms of how fast you're going. And so far it's doing all right. And I'm just going to go ahead and go, I'm going to stick to this kind of like, how do you say, like this small footprint, if you will, which is very typical for wild mouse roller coaster. They don't have a big footprint, which is, a selling point for them as well if you're building a park. And I'm going to stick to that as well. I don't want this to have a big footprint. I want this to be compact, kind of busy. But yeah, I think it's quite well. And I'm constantly running these trains just to make sure that the pacing is okay. Because of course I don't want to be too fast. But because they're single carts, they also lose momentum quite fast. So I also want to make sure that they actually can complete the track. Now for the color scheme, I got something wild for you guys. It's going to be pink with yellow. I know, that's pretty crazy. And I thought about doing custom supports, but the track design is so intricate, I decided to just stick with the standard supports just for this one. And I'm gonna do some kind of, like fantasy theming, if you will. I was inspired a little bit by this from the, I forgot which scenario it's called in RCT1, but there's like a Cheshire Cat's ride in one of the RCT1 scenarios that has like giant chess pieces and like lollipops and whatever. And I was like, I want to try and make some kind of like one of those weird fantasy wonderland themings with like bright colors and everything. And I wanted to do that because it's something I've never done before. It's quite different than what I usually do. Usually I stick to maybe like a Western theming or like a like a futuristic theming, but this is quite unusual for me. So I'm just sticking to like these big bugs and it's other things that I can maybe plop down here, also some trees and everything, just to make it like a kind of a fantasy wonderland. Did it work out okay? It worked out okay-ish, not the greatest, but at least I'm trying to do something different. That's always what I try to do, at least most of the time. So yeah, we're almost done. I'm just gonna go ahead and over these standard objects, see if I can see some more that I can put down, so like these candy canes and this glockenspiel as it's called. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm actually a really big fan of this one, just because it's very different than what I usually make. And also these loopings I created, which I'm not sure if they're called loopings, but whatever, they're incredibly like nuts. I'm not sure if this would actually be, realistic, like legal, real life. But yeah, this looks pretty crazy. So let me go ahead and hide the interface. Let's get a bit of a free look. And there we go. I want to see what this looks like. This must look really, really cool from like a guest point of view. So if you would walk up to this and see this, you'd be like, what the hell is this? This looks nuts. This looks like a, I don't know, like a bit of a torture machine. But this would be pretty nuts in real life. I don't think this would ever fly, but I like the way it looks. I really do. It's and again, this is the really cool thing about this challenge. I would never make this roller coaster. I would never bat an eye to this. But now I did, and now I'm like, hey, this is actually kind of a fun design. So let me just save this real quick, and let's go ahead and ride this. I can't wait to see what this looks like. So here we go. All right, here we go onto the vertical lift hill. Here we go, all the way to the top, which is not very high because of course it's a wild mouse. It's not going to be a big ass hyper coaster. Okay, so here we go into these 180-degree turns. You know, for now it's pretty tame. You know, this is also the kind of the setup. You know, you're going down the ride, think, okay, you know, these 180-degree turns, I recognize this from a regular wild mouse. Yeah, this is okay. And then all chaos, all chaos consumes. Here we go into the final turn, and we're going to turn around in our first looping. Let's see how this looks. Here we go down. Ooh. Oh my god, that will give you a nice case of vertigo. Here we go into our second one, right next to that big kind of centipede, caterpillar thing, whatever it is. I think it's a centipede. Nice. Into these turns. The camera flows with it nicely, by the way. That's it helps making it look a little bit more smooth. Yeah, it's actually a good ride time too, you know. It's kind of a long ride time. It's good value for your money, if you will. You need these nice dips here that should provide you with some very good ejector airtime. And, oh, Jesus. Oh, that's... it's got to hit in the face with the track itself. Usually that's like blocked off or something. Like you're not allowed to do that. All right, well, I can tweak that later, but for now, yeah, it's okay. Let's see how the rest is. Yeah, now we're just slowly but surely returning to the station. And there we go. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. I like it. So yeah, that is our inverted wild mouse coaster. That's pretty nutty. I like the theme too. It's just a little bit out of the box. And that's what I like about this challenge. Again, I'm challenging myself to make roller coaster types I would never make. And also try some different things with the theming, if you will. So there you go, guys. Yet another challenge in the bag. I'll be back soon with another video. But for now, I wish you a wonderful day.